NZUC.TV.
Of the women's division of the New Zealand Ultimate Championships, with me, Peter Hubin.
Yeah, that's right. Hello. Kia ora, everyone.
Husband of Beck Soper.
He went there.
We had Beck commentating earlier in the day, so you may just want to put that connection together. We've got
Rebecca Hubin.
Rebecca Hubin. So we've got Juvenile Delinquents taking on repeat offenders. Both teams capital punishment, Wellington-based team. So we will have Juvenile Delinquents wearing black, repeat offenders in white. Teams pretty much split in terms of experience. The team in white has a lot more. Juvenile Delinquents, based on the name.
Yeah, CP this year has gone with what, an XY team, and it's good to see that their club's pretty spread in player base. They've got themselves, you know, they've made the final, inter-club final.
For the second year running.
Second year running, yeah. Other regions in New Zealand step it up.
So spicy. Zoe pulls for Juvenile Delinquents. It will be repeat offenders having the first chance on offense.
Big pass.
Nikki Boats pick it up.
2 passes really before defense is set. Fortunately a little bit too big.
So
will be a turnover.
Juvenile Delinquents now. Beck will be picking up the disc. She's got Zoe back with her.
We got Danny as first option.
And Danny
unfortunate turnover.
Takes her eyes off the disc. So it'll be Nikki Boats that comes to pick it up for repeat offenders. Finds Miriam down the line. And a
big leading pass over the end zone.
And Tink scores.
Really good vision there from Nikki, seeing the space and putting the disc out real nice and early. Floating it out, chest height, very easy to run on. Beautiful throw. Nikki, one of their best handlers.
So good start for repeat offenders. The O-line from Juvenile Delinquents coming on.
(1-0) to repeat offenders.
So the wind is sort of blowing away from the screen, from our side of the field to the far side. It's coming and going, so at the moment it seems pretty still. It will be Audrey pulling for repeat offenders.
A little bit of a line violation there from the Dean. Chasing hard though.
Eva Weatherall will pick up the disc and get it straight to Emma Doyle.
1 pass without defense. Good pull just below the brick mark.
Beck now on the disc.
Seeing a little bit of a junky zone.
So Abby in the middle of the field.
Solid read.
Puts a big huck up.
Big huck up. Audrey in the deep, getting the defense.
Target was Rebecca Lynch, but didn't quite reach her. So now it's Audrey, and Eva sneaks through.
Awesome run through D from Eva.
And pretty simple, but we've got a call.
I guess they're not too sure whether she caught it before she jumped over the line.
So as we have a look at the replay here, Eva lobs the pass up.
Ooh,
looks
pretty
a bit
close.
Touch and go.
Yeah, fair call, fair call.
So Mance now
looking at
on
the dump.
disc. Beck has it, swings it to Abby.
Repeat offender still playing the zone in the end zone.
Beck, good grab one-handed. Probably looking for a hammer. We've seen lots of that from her today. We'll swing it to Eva. She's got Ed next to her, does use her in the end. Ed gets it back to Eva.
Engaging for a long time. Looks at reset real late, Eva.
Gets it to Emma Doyle, back to Eva Weatherall.
Handler's doing well.
And
a foot block from Mel by the looks of it.
Great work from Mel Connolly. Not the first final she's played in.
Mel Connolly going for the disc. Looks like they're setting up a vertical.
No, the handler's back. Mel puts up a forehand. And a big shove in the back. Raya gets a shove in the back from Farron Halliday.
Definitely a foul, but the question is, did it affect play? Because it kind of just trailed off to Eva, so that's probably where the discussion's going. No call from Raya. That's good spirit, realizing that Eva was in the position in a better position. Will be a turn. Juvenile Delinquents take the disc.
So Eva Wetherall has the disc, taps it in.
Looks like they're in a bit of a vertical.
Uses Beck. She's got Emma Doyle next to her, who then looks for Abby. Nice throw through the cup. Back to Emma. Gets it to Abby. Beck on that far side. Back to Abby. Through the middle to Emma Doyle.
Break.
And Farron.
Nice break out of the cup. Repeat offenders get to contain again.
It's back to Beck. Little hammer over to Emma. Just over the top of that cup. Back to Beck.
JD unable to create any flow from the hammer.
So Mance now on this near side. Back to Abby.
Repeat offenders doing a great job of containing the disc within the handle line. Putting a lot of pressure on the throw.
Emma
Hammer goes up.
Emma gets the hammer, does well. Abby did well not to panic there. Beck with the hammer, over to Farron Halliday, who
breaks it out, swings it to Eva. Eva engages, holding the disc, letting the zone set.
Back to Beck, now back to Abby. Good patient build up here from Juvenile Delinquents. A floaty backhand. Emma manages to hold
and
it
swings
and
it out
passes
to Eva. Inside out break. Lovely throw from Emma with a score from Eva. Beautiful offense from JD there.
Good defense though. Contained Juvenile Delinquents very well. And it wasn't until that throw reached Eva Wetherall till it stretched the defense.
No, it's surprising considering the lack of wind, really, this whole tournament. We've seen quite a lot of zones. Definitely going for the containment, trying to shut down the deep, long game, because considering it's such a lovely day, really trying to, these zones, kind of junky, you're often trying to force the disc around through the handlers. It's good to see that people aren't just relying on match defense to generate turns. Gee, that's a noisy generator, isn't it? It's just constant.
So Zoe Risner has the disc. She'll be pulling for JD. The very experienced line of repeat offenders awaits.
It's often the case for repeat offenders. They've got a lot of experience on their team.
So disc goes up from Zoe. Nice pull. It's going to float towards the end zone. Mel Connolly's going to grab it.
Repeat offenders will work it quite just in front of the end zone line without defense.
Pick called. So Nikki Boats has the disc. And looks like the defender's just going to be allowed to catch up.
Miriam with an undercut. Kelly cutting under as well. Kelly gets the disc. Looking downfield.
And Toya jumping up to grab it. Miriam now at her ankles. Does very well.
Opting for the forehand.
Looking for Mel Connolly.
Big swing.
Who can't get there. Good pressure from Demi. Demi Simkin, who now goes deep.
Using her legs over Mel.
Danny gets the disc.
Got
Sends
two.
it back to Liv Weary, who floats it over the top. Danielle Paul with the score. Liv Weary with the assist. So nice clean play again from JD.
Bit of an unfortunate turn there from repeat offenders, but good pressure on the mark, forcing that really wide around swing and just pushing it a little bit too far around for Mel Connolly to be able to chase it down and maintain possession. JD doing a good job of converting that turn.
So Taylor's got the disc for JD, putting up the pull. Audrey giving some last words of advice to the line for repeat offenders.
Pull's going up. Bit of a shorter pull this time, sitting around the brick mark. Nikki Boats picking up the Frisbee. Looking for a reset, finding Audrey. Lovely pickup from Sam. Resetting back to Audrey.
Downfield just lacking a little bit of structure at the moment.
Just trying to find their space through a zone, really. JD's come down with a bit of a zone here. Looking at just trying to contain the disc within the handle line. Disc goes up.
And Eva Weaver was going to cut it off.
Through D.
She's been a nuisance at the back of the zone for JD the whole day.
A repeat offender is just looking for that space in front of Eva, but unfortunately pushing that disc a little bit too far and giving Eva a bit on it.
So it's Zoe with the disc now in her own end zone. Eva with a big layout.
Grab, well done.
Sends it to Hannah Taylor. Comes wider to Sheridan.
Hillary nice and patient with the Frisbee.
Taylor gets it back. Back to Sheridan, good hands. Swings to Zoe, space opening up.
Looks up, Zoe looks for the long shot down the side.
Farron's there for it, keeps it in.
Good footwork from Farron, keeping a disc floating down the
Zoe
sideline.
Sends a very flat pass to Hillary Sheridan, picks it up, uses Abby. Got Hannah with her. And Abby gets it back. Sends a pass up to Farron.
No.
Uses Zoe. And there's big space on the other side of the field. Zoe can't get there though. Hillary Sheridan with the disc to Abby. And lots of space. So Farron Halliday with the score. Just worked it up very patiently.
Yeah, worked it around that zone from repeat offenders. Nice patience. Got a good long shot look right underneath the deep player. Very well done. Got a lot of ground from that. Good defense on repeat offenders though, containing it in the handling line for a good 10 passes before they broke it out. It's a lovely day. Offense definitely has the advantage on a day like today, and yeah.
So Juvenile Delinquents make it 3 points to 1 over their senior squad members.
Yeah, repeat offenders being more of the experienced line, I suppose. Looks like Zoe's got the pull again. The pulls have been very good. Getting defense pressure behind the brick mark. Lovely flat pull. Nice and hard. Good depth. Not a lot of hang time though, so repeat offenders will be able to work it up just in front of the end zone line before the defense pressure sets in. Looks to move it to their horror.
So
Looks like
Audrey gets the disc.
Bit of a match
Puts a
defense going
big
on.
shot
Lovely
up.
high air ball going up.
And Beck manages to get in the way. The wind
It was a
just
good
took
read
it.
from Nadine. She just dropped it, unfortunately, but a lot of pressure around there and an air ball.
Number 19 with the disc.
Makes a safe swing to Zoe.
Beck on the disc now. Looking long first, but it's not
Swing
there.
it to Zoe. Zoe with a good continue
To
inside
Danny
out
Paul.
to Danny.
Looking for the big backhand huck. Instead goes
Centers
inside to O'Leary.
O'Leary looking for the reset.
Does get it from
Finds
Beck. Big shot going
Big
up.
shot going up. Danny Paul underneath it. Lovely read from Danny. Lovely put from Beck. Awesome hang. Held its edge. Brought down by Danny.
Juvenile Delinquents showing repeat offenders how it's done. Repeat offenders, of course, have a much smaller roster due to a few injuries.
Timeout called by repeat offenders.
A few injuries just days, perhaps weeks, before the tournament started. I think I heard 5 people from the original roster unable to make it to the tournament, so they'll be tired. It's been a long tournament. Coming up against the exuberance of youth. This, of course, the last game of the tournament, the women's final. Recently broadcast was the Open final, which Australian under-24 Goannas took out.
The Auckland team Rocket.
Comfortably beating Rocket. Big
Yeah.
second half from Goannas.
Pretty similar teams, to be honest. One team has quite a large number of players and ran Rocket into the ground, as Rocket's got only 15 players, whereas Goannas had a big squad from Australia of about 24. Were really able to put a lot of pressure on defense and make them work hard.
Always nice to have teams from other places coming and competing and doing well. Wildcats, Wellington Wildcats, a couple of years ago did go to Australian Nationals and finish second.
Not so nice when they come and win the tournament, though. But still, they earned it.
Absolutely. Not long ago, an Australian team also won mixed nets here in New Zealand.
A couple of years ago.
Canelay, I believe. So Australian teams have had some success at our national tournaments over here. Of course, good experience for the under-24 team prior to their world champs later this year.
Oh, the Goannas team has improved so much throughout the tournament. On the Friday, they're a bit sloppy, few miscommunications, but towards that final was very clinical. Finally starting to find each other and figure out what their plays are, and their connections has improved dramatically. And well fought final. Didn't look like they deserved the final on Friday, but they definitely looked so much sharper today on Sunday. They've improved so much as a team together, and I guess this time is invaluable for them. Pool's gone up.
Bit short. But
a big chase.
It will be Nikki who picks the disc up. She's got Audrey with her.
Defense will be set about the brick mark.
Finds Audrey.
Looking like a zone again. A few switchy marks happening around the handler. Looking like the inside shot to Sam. Contain. Being contained again. Nikki Boats with a big forehand around.
And good pressure.
Good pressure from Hannah.
Means Adele can't get that one. Hannah centers it to Danny, who gets it to Emma Doyle. Back to Danny.
Rebecca running long. Trying to get free for Hillary. Unable to.
Back to Eva. Through to Hillary. She's got Hannah free next to her if she wants it, and does use her.
A little bit of the deep space cluttered at the moment for JD, so they're looking to swing around the handle line, trying to bring that deep back under.
Emma swings to Hillary.
Again, a zone turned on by repeat offenders.
Hannah. Emma.
Just swing back and forth. Big hammer over the top.
So Hillary can't drag it in.
Just pushed a bit too far.
And Adele now gets it to Nikki.
Sam's
going long, and the shot does go up.
Bit short though. Awesome read from Hannah.
So Eva will pick the disc up a couple of meters from her own goal line.
Looks like that zone's getting set up again straight away. Eva with a nice inside break.
Emma throws it to Hannah. Now to Abby. Back to Hannah. Emma cutting through the cup. Not coming to her though, instead going backwards. Abby to Eva. Swings it back to Hannah. Now Danny. Back to Hannah. Just good handler movement for the moment.
A lot of players working hard within the first 10 meters. Unfortunately,
again,
turnover.
As soon as I say good handler movement, it breaks down.
A little bit of a miscommunication.
So Nikki is going to pick the disc up. Over to Sally. Just misreads it, but...
Awesome double take from Nikki. Looks like a bit of match defense from JD.
Toya now. Back to Nikki. Over to Sally. Back to Nikki. And the shot
big inside out break. Sitting up high over the stack. Lovely work. Awesome vision from Nikki. Excellent throws, making it very easy for Raya to bring down the disc for the score.
So 4 points to 2 now. Juvenile Delinquents over repeat offenders, but that was nice and smooth from repeat offenders. Just forcing that turnover, miscommunication between the handlers of JD. Repeat offenders capitalize.
Both teams choosing to play zone quite a lot. Very interesting, but doing a good job of shutting down the deep. Really making those handlers work hard and continue a lot of passes together before they work it downfield to make the meters. The zone occasionally getting the turn that they want. It's interesting to see both clubs playing the same zone. Both teams playing the same zone, sorry.
They know each other's tricks.
Yeah, they do.
So Zoe's going to pick up the disc.
Got an easy reset back to Beck, who swings it out to Eva wide, stretching that zone.
Looks off Demi. Big fake. Back to Beck.
Just two handlers.
Beck over the top.
Finds Helena.
Helena.
Oh, Helena looks off Rebecca with a big fake. Calling a foul.
Called.
Must have got hit on her big swing. Probably wanted to throw it, to be honest.
So disc coming in. Helena with it. Pops it back to Beck, who finds Eva just out of reach of Tank. Good bid. Beck gets it back from Eva.
Looking for Eva wide. Looks Eva off.
Does eventually go to her, though. Big lady forehand. Zoe free. And straight to Helena.
JD 5-2. One of those long throws you only really see on a day like today. You don't really see them too often unless you're playing indoors. But good sharp edge. very quick, right to the player that you're wanting to throw to. Very useful in his zone, trying to throw underneath the deep, but just over that wall. Very well executed from Eva.
So it looks like we have a timeout. So we might leave you for a couple of minutes while the players take a breather. So Zoe Risner with the pull. Juvenile Delinquents sending it down. Big pull from Zoe. It's going to roll and Sally just in front of the end zone.
Big gainer to Raya. Back to Sally. JD come down with that zone again, by the looks of it.
Perhaps not. Looking
match.
No,
a bit more matchy. Just trying to contain it in the handler zone, though.
Big put up and good pressure from Danny, but can't stop it from being completed. Nikki gets it back and puts a big haka.
Big roll around.
Sam gets a touch on it, gets it on the second
Good
attempt.
Double take from Sam. Looking for a quick reset.
Finds it. Now off to Nikki.
Got Nadine cutting to the break side.
Big backhand hard.
Up for Raya. Big layout incoming.
And Raya gets a layout.
Gets a layout for the score. That Nikki Raya connection.
Fantastic effort from Raya. Laying out in that back corner. As we watch on replay, Nikki putting a big floaty backhand up. Raya aware to it.
Big lad incoming.
And full extension.
Grab.
Great work from repeat offenders.
Here's that IO break from Nikki Boats again. Very deadly. Audrey with a pull. Slower pull.
Picked
Gets
up
a
by
reasonable depth. One pass before defense sets.
So Liv Weary has the disc now, looking back at Beck. She wants the hammer. Does get it to Demi. Well done. Demi
Looks
looking
off
off Sarah.
Resetting to Beck.
This is Danny. Out to
Swinging
Liv.
across the line, working it up the field.
Danny gets it back. Now Zoe on that far side.
Big around.
To Mance. And
And a
then
score,
to Demi.
Demi.
Under all sorts of pressure from Audrey, but she holds on. Quick play from Juvenile Delinquents results in a very quick point. So 6-3.
Good offense point from Juvenile Delinquents. Quite clinical. Moving the disc well. Taking up one sideline, then swinging it back around, and then attacking up the other, converting it into a score.
So Zoe's going to pull.
Pulls have been pretty good this game. Got lots of depth, reasonable amount of hang time. Often setting up with the defense just outside of the end zone line.
It's a nice
Again,
pull.
another nice pull. Just rolled over a little bit.
Mel Connolly picks it up, centers it to Audrey. Elizabeth
Lovely pressure
Farnham
from Abby.
up to Miriam. Tink gets the disc. Lots of space. Resets to Miriam, low put. And that's, looks like Elizabeth Farnham with the score.
We're at the stage in the game where it's a little bit of a grind. The O-line tends to be scoring quite a lot, and it's just trading back and forward. Both teams on defense fighting really hard for that turnover. And in conditions like this, they have to work extra hard. Often in New Zealand, particularly with Wellington, we rely on that wind with almost like that 8th player on the field. And so on a day like today, the defense needs to step it up and really put a lot of pressure on. But O-line doing well, converting the last couple of points.
So repeat offenders to pull. Audrey puts it up. Very flat. Good distance. Liv will pick it up. Center it to Beck. Gets it across to Zoe.
Big huck to
He
Eva.
puts it to Eva. Lots
Lovely
of space.
space.
And Rebecca O'Leary free on this far edge, but Eva not looking for it. Instead decides to get it back to Zoe, who then gets it to Liv, tips it onto Beck. Beck with the hammer, finds Danny. And through the hands, Rebecca O'Leary lays out but can't get there. Just rushed it a little bit there, Juvenile Delinquents.
Helena was cutting one way and the disc just went on the other side of her, and reactions didn't quite manage to pick up the change from where she was expecting the Frisbee.
So
But Nikki with the disc.
good bid from Rebecca, can't quite get there. Audrey puts it through the middle, then goes to Sam. Back to Audrey. Swings it out to this side where we're on. Sam, back to Nikki. Puts it up to
Big
Sam.
hi to Sam.
And
Eva
she
with
brings it down.
There's a lot of pressure from Eva. Lovely grab from Sam. Sam, one of the best receivers on the repeat offenders side, once again bringing it down with a lot of pressure from Eva.
Repeat offenders on a bit of a run here, 6 points to 5.
It's a break for repeat offenders. Just talking earlier that O-line had scored a bunch of times. Now D-line's finally got their break and bringing that game a bit more even. Repeat offenders fighting hard. What do you think, Rory? We'll see a zone from repeat offenders?
I think it's been the theme of this game so far. A few times teams coming down match, but a lot of the time
Mel with a
zone.
forehand pull.
It's a little bit shorter than what we've seen, but will land roughly around the brick mark. Zoe to pick it up, finds Hannah Taylor. Back to Zoe. Back to Taylor. Eva Weatherall hanging back. Not looking downfield, instead hands it off to Abby Liddell. Back to Eva. Back to Hannah. Through the middle. And again, up the middle to Farron. Abby's got the disc. Looks like it is, but a little zone. So swings it wide to Zoe, who goes straight up the middle.
Finds Sophie.
Back to Risner, to Liddell. Fakes the hammer. Instead, sends it to Taylor. Keeping on coming this way, through Liddell.
JD just working around that zone, swinging back and forward.
Taylor now, back to Liddell.
Good
A little
patience.
scuba over the top. Farron's free, but gets looked off
Big hammer
instead.
to Zoe.
Big hammer. Zoe
Good
reels it
read.
in. Shoots it
Over
down the middle.
top,
Farron's
Farron
going to get there,
picks it
and
up.
Eva's free, but Farron can't find the throw. And Hannah Taylor.
Unfortunate turn from Hannah Taylor. JD running down on defense.
Mel Connolly picks the disc up. Centers
Looks
it.
like match defense.
And just out of reach of Toya, so
Beck and Neal pushing it a little bit too far on the forehand side.
JD call a timeout.
Important point for JD. They really want to score it. Stop the run of the repeat offenders.
So Taylor picks up the disc. Over the top to Mance, who can't quite get there.
Just fades away, loses his edge a little bit.
So Connolly's going to pick the disc up for repeat offenders. Looks down the line, but it's not on. So Mel Connolly almost out of options. Does find Sally. Goes up the line to Toya, and it's just going to be out of reach again. So Eva finds Abby. Back to Hannah. Back to Zoe. Abby now. Hannah. Abby. Back to Hannah. Back to Abby. Big huck goes up. Eva almost lays out into her own player. Looks like it's Mentz that scores it. Eva's staying down.
Bit of an awkward layout, running backwards and turning around,
Looks
realizing
like
that
she
your
wasn't
still there.
Yeah, she wasn't aware that she had another player waiting for that disc. Nice huck. Eva only eyes for the disc. Still down. Slowly getting to her feet, so it's a good sign. And just walking off to the sideline is Eva.
Hard-fought point. They're on there. Few turnovers. Both teams trying really hard to convert it.
So Juvenile Delinquents up 7-5. Hoping to take half. Zoe puts up the pull.
A bit flatter than her other ones.
Audrey now on the disc to Nikki. Nikki puts her forehand up.
Abby just a bit short. Abby reading it well.
Intended target was Farnham, but not there. Beck Soper now finds Abby. Floats it over to Zoe on the far side. Through the middle to Danny. Sarah now. Quick play from JD. Back to Liv. Back to Abby. Scuba over the top to Beck. Demi was free in the zone. Beck didn't find it. Instead goes to Danny over the top to Sarah. And Demi will score in the corner.
Good D point. Nice break there from JD. Pushing the score up a little bit further.
So it is 8-5, which means it's half time. JD taking it. So halftime game there, trying to get the disc into the rubbish bin. The winner, tournament director Mike Connolly.
Make sure everyone puts all the rubbish in the rest of the shut up. She's like, nope.
Welcome back after halftime. Juvenile Delinquents will have the first chance on offense. P defenders pulling to them. So Taylor will pick it up. Emma Doyle, Abby. Just nice little handler cuts. Beck free on that far side. Just working it into this corner.
Repeat offenders coming down with that zone again.
Shot goes over the top to Mance, who just doesn't quite position herself well enough for that throw. And now picked up by repeat offenders.
Big around.
Big swing. Eva with the layout D.
Run through layout D.
Beck will pick the disc up.
Finds Hannah Taylor. Keeping the disc alive. Oh, unfortunately just pushes it just a bit far from where Rebecca was. Nikki with the Frisbee.
Throws it pretty much straight at the ground. So
unfortunate turnover.
Juvenile Delinquents, another opportunity to extend their lead. Four handlers back currently. Eva gets it on this near side. Bit of interchange between Abby and Eva.
Still that zone doing a good job of containing it. Abby with those scoopers over the top. She's been very good with those.
Beck to Hannah. Back to Beck. Good interplay between Beck and Hannah Taylor. Now swinging it wider to Hillary Sheridan, who centers it. Fakes the backhand, instead throws a forehand. Abby in this corner, working it back, and looks like it's Eva Wetherill just standing still in the zone, gets the disc. Juvenile Delinquents make it a 4-point game.
Another good zone there from repeat offenders, doing a great job of containing it within the handle line, making Juvenile Delinquents make a lot of passes backwards and forwards to gain very few meters at a time. Unfortunate, couldn't quite get the second turnover after the unfortunate turnover. But good 0 point from Juvenile Delinquents, taking the score to 9-5.
Not sure if you see here Eva's reaction after scoring that point. Perhaps a little bit grumpy after getting a knock earlier on.
Good to see that she's back out on the field though. Running hard, got a sweet layout D. Bookends for Eva technically. We've got a hand up from repeat offenders. Pull's going up from Zoe. Good amount of hang time. Rolling back in, Mel Connolly with the Frisbee. Centering it to Nikki Boats. Finding Kelly, who looks for a big down the line, running to Sam. Awesome throw, well done. Very good vision from Kelly, lovely put, hanging her nice and in front of Sam, who's able to bring down the score. Repeat offenders converting their 0 point. The score is 9-6.
Nice big huck, leading out in front of Sam, taking it comfortably, very good hands. So repeat offenders claw one back.
JD being smart and finding their foot on the line for their 0 point. Big pull from Audrey. Sitting just over top of the brick mark. Beck centering to Abby.
Abby
with another scuba.
Hillary now, putting it up to Farron, to Danny. Good go forward from Juvenile Delinquents, swings it over to Eva, rips it down, easy as you like.
Another 0 point scored by Juvenile Delinquents. Score is now 10-6.
Good patience shown by JD. And floating it up to the very experienced Eva Wetherill for the score. Of course, JD losing Steph Lynch yesterday during the showcase game, injuring her knee, which was injured a few weeks ago. Same knee, different injury. So big loss for them. She is one of the players going to Heidelberg later this year. as part of the New Zealand under-24 women's team. So she'll be basically disappointed to be missing this. But JD doing all right without her.
Shorter pull from Zoe. Sitting around the brick mark.
Up to Nadine, who's just looking for a reset, gets it in Nikki. Up to Miriam. Miriam looking off the long option.
Pick called. Seems to have ideally been a continuation, but unfortunately some of the people stopped, so it will be a stoppage. Just coming in.
Well ripped down by Neil.
Oh,
she puts a big
around.
Raya does
Again,
get it,
Raya
but
in the zone,
looks
calling
like
it out the back by a few of the JD players. Raya too, calling it out the back. Fortunately, just a little bit too far. It was a lovely look. But JD will get the turn. Will they be able to convert the break from here?
So Beck on the disc, faking that hammer. Out to Zoe. Back to Beck. To Danny.
Looks like repeat offenders opting for that zone again, containing the big throws from Juvenile Delinquents. Lots of pressure.
Over the top to Mance.
Sees Helena in the deep, isn't quite able to find a free throw.
Liv weary now. To Beck. Shot
Big
over the
around.
top.
Finds Helena.
Just resetting to Beck. Hammer to Danny. Back to Beck. She goes for the same throw to Helena.
Raya, big pressure.
Gets it to Mance. Rebecca O'Leary in the zone and free.
Oh, lovely rip from Rebecca. JDs will convert the break. Score is now 11-6. The young athleticism of JD seems to be taking a bit of a lead. Also a slightly larger squad doesn't help either for repeat offenders, unfortunately, as they've had a few players injured and are a bit restricted when it comes to numbers, and so are probably feeling the legs a little bit more than JD at this current point in time. But repeat offenders still fighting hard to try and generate a break off every time they're on defense. Looks like we're going to have a pull from Abby this time.
Just coming up. Nice pull, nice hand
Very
tone.
nice pull.
Nikki picks it up. And they have come down in a zone and straight away.
Lovely defense.
Straight away effective. Beck will pick it up. Finds Eva. Back to Beck. Back to Eva.
Good 1-2 movement right there.
Abby free. Back to Beck. Back to Abby. Beck looking wide to Eva. Takes it low. And it looks like it's Mance.
Another break from JD.
JD doing it comfortably. 12 points to 6.
Awesome defense from that zone.
Good low catch from Witherell. And just a simple pass into the zone for Mentz to score.
Juvenile Delinquents at the moment are doing a really good job in their handle line of keeping the disc alive, and the downfield is very patient and waiting for that connection between that handle line and the downfield. It's awesome to see that they're able to keep the disc alive for 20 plus passes consistently.
Bit of bull rush in the crowd. Getting a bit of excitement going on the sidelines here. So Mel Connolly has the disc. Again, looking like a zone from JD.
High release forehand from Mel.
Liz just getting there on the second attempt. Gets it to Audrey. No one long though for repeat offenders. So Audrey's going to get it back over the top from Mel. High release backhand finds Tink. Tink gets it out to Raya. Centered back to Mel. Mel looking for the forehand, instead just sends it across the field to a handler for a reset. Back to Mel. Hammer to Raya to do a bit of work to get there, but does so. Neil now fakes the big backhand. Audrey. Swings to Neil. Back to Connolly, to Audrey. And a big shot goes up.
Zoe attacking.
It's going to fall for Raya. Good work from Zoe, but just couldn't quite get there. Back to Audrey now. And through the middle. Beautiful throw. Elizabeth Farnham scores.
It's good hustle from Raya there. Wasn't the initial intended receiver, but hustled down for the floaty pass nevertheless, and was able to clean up the trash.
Never gave up on the disc, which is important. Good work from Audrey here. Fantastic break throw. Through about 3 JD defenders. So 12 points to 7.
Repeat offenders now out on defense. They really need this D point. They really need to start getting a few now to try and push the score back to be a bit more even. I'm sure they'll be putting a big line out on defense and chasing hard.
So just over 20 minutes until soft cap. And game to 15, of course.
I imagine the game will probably hit to 15 before it reaches timeout. Just judging by the current score and the weather, it's quite nice. The points haven't been too long. Pretty clean, clinical offense for the most part. Not too many turnovers. Pull going up from Audrey. Good loft. Sitting around the brick mark.
Abby who picks it up. Straight away fakes up the field. Finds Hannah. Zoe to Hannah to Abby. Again, a little zone, and Abby very content throwing scoobas over the top of it.
Oh, lovely pressure from Sam there, making Zoe change her option. Good awareness, though, from Zoe, realizing that Sam had come right around.
Big fake from Abby. to Hannah Taylor, who puts a forehand through to Farron. Little push pass.
Eva
to
sitting in
Abby.
the deep. Oh, big hut goes up to Eva.
And she'll clean that up. She's got it.
Lovely look from Abby. Good vision.
Eva's not going to drop that.
Score is 13-7. The repeat offenders out there are looking a little bit tired, still wanting to fight hard on defense.
Very warm day here in Wellington, and without that wind, it's perhaps starting to take its toll.
It's also the end of a 3-day tournament. I think 7 games, 8 games plus. Especially with a shorter squad. Definitely be feeling the legs.
Zoe puts a pull up. She's been pulling well all game. This one floating towards the end zone.
One of the better ones.
Picked up by Nikki and gets to Audrey. Again, zone is the order of the day as Audrey gets the disc. Now Neil to Boats. Up over the top. Nice put. Straight back the middle.
Unfortunate turn from Miriam.
Miriam can't hold on, so will be JD with another opportunity to get a break.
Walking over, setting up their offense. Looks like they're coming in a vertical. No, they're spreading out for a zone. Big throw up from Eva. Lovely pick
Great
up.
hands from Mance, but she may have towed it out. No. Just finding the right spot where she crossed the line, so gets it back to Zoe. Beck now has the disc. Swings it to Sarah. Very high to O'Leary.
Lovely double take from Rebecca.
Beck gets it. Hammer over the top to Helena. She finds Beck. Beck wanted the hammer again. Decided against it. Instead swings it to Sarah, who tries to get it to Zoe, but good pressure from Toya. And players going long, but the throw wasn't forthcoming. Toya now is just going to be out of reach.
Zoe looking for some quick movement after the turn.
Beck to Rebecca O'Leary.
Good vision.
Out to Mance, who gets it back to Rebecca. Mance again, caught it at her shoelaces, does well. Sarah to Beck, it's going to float, and Beck can't get there. Toya does well. Miriam's deep, but no handlers getting to it. Zoe was busting long to cover that. So Nikki, back to Neil. Toya. Audrey now. Back to Neil. Oh, good bid from Mance. Patient play from the handlers. From repeat offenders. Nikki now puts a shot through the middle.
Opens the space up with Kelly, who looks back, lets the zone contain again.
Audrey now on the disc. Steadily marching forward to repeat offenders. Nikki does get the disc. Across to Neil. Looks Kelly off, instead resets. Lots of fakes. Does put it up to Audrey. Sending it wide to Miriam. Back to Audrey. Big floaty pass, but it's going to fall for Neil.
JD defense very good, forcing it back and forward across the field, able to contain it, although in saying that, repeat offenders have just managed to make a good amount of ground with a big swing.
Neil now. Over the top for Miriam. Great leading pass.
Big inside-out backhand.
Miriam, big fake forehand. Big floaty one for Audrey. Big puts pressure on, but Audrey brings it down. Now Nikki. Audrey, Nikki. Back to Neil. Through the middle to Audrey. Toya. And Audrey will score. So very, very patient play from repeat offenders. Had to work it between the handlers quite a lot. Eventually found some go forward and walked it into the zone.
But lovely job again on the JD defense, really. Really forcing that repeat offenders to make many, many passes before working it downfield. And only really when they do get it downfield, working 5, 10, 15 meters at a time, not really anything more than that. So doing a great job of shutting down those long puts and forcing many passes. Both teams here very consistent with their handle lines, which means they are able to maintain the disc and keep it alive around the handler and eventually find that place downfield. But
So Mel Connolly will be pulling. Looks like it's going to be a forehand pull. It's up, it's going to land about in line with the brick mark, but on the far side of the field. Zoe centers to Emma Doyle to Abby. Back to Emma. Emma to Abby. Big heart going up from Abby. It's going to be Eva on Raya. Eva backing, snatches it from the air. Looks off Becca Lynch, instead finds Hannah Taylor. Great grab from Eva Weatherall. Absolutely snatching that one from the air.
excellent defense from Raya as well, really forcing Eva to try and fight hard for that position that she wanted.
Got into an awkward position as well, Eva. Managed to get it though. Good defense from Raya to drop off onto Rebecca Lynch. Just unfortunately, Hannah Taylor was free in the zone.
JD once again looking for that long shot to Eva. I guess that's the reason we've seen that zone so often with repeat offenders, is they're trying to shut that long game down because it's so strong.
So Juvenile Delinquents 14, repeat offenders 8. Just one more point for JD, and the title is theirs. The 2019 New Zealand Ultimate Championship. Zoe puts the pull up. It looks like it's going to be too much and goes out the side. Terrifies Rachel over there.
Nikki will take the brick, giving a team time to set up their offense. Looking like match defense here from JD, with repeat offenders setting themselves up in a horizontal.
So Nikki on the disc, straight away looking for Audrey. Great defense from Danny. Makes it very hard for Audrey, but she does eventually get free. Now Mel Connolly
Big
puts it
high.
up. Raya the target. She does get it. Resets back. Swung to Nikki. And
Raya will take the score in the corner.
Raya been working very hard the last few points, so well deserved.
Now very tough here still from repeat offenders. They've got to score a lot of breaks in a row to keep up the fight. JD been doing a great job of scoring their offense points and sitting 14-9 currently, with just one more point to score to close the game out.
So if JD are to score this, it will be the last point of the tournament.
Repeat offenders getting very loud on the sideline, pumping up their defense, knowing that it's now or never.
So Zoe to Abby. Abby uses Emma Doyle as a reset.
Eva loitering in the deep, waiting for the long shot to come. Abby puts it up.
And Audrey hits the ground. Looks like we could have a call.
This is one of those tough ones
Bit
here.
of a tussle between them, just as the disc was going up. So it looks like the call's been retracted. And Eva will bring the disc in. About a meter away from the end zone. So disc is in. Zoe through to Farron.
And that'll be the game.
So congratulations to the Juvenile Delinquents from Wellington's Capital Punishment, taking out the women's division of the 2019 New Zealand Ultimate Championship, following on from Goanna's win in the Open division. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage from the tournament. Please feel free to go back and watch any of the games that have been streamed throughout these last 3 days. We'll see you next year.
ULTI.TV.